Hello, my name is Carolyn Carr, and the title of my presentation is Teacher Retention in a Challenging Professional Landscape. In recent years, teachers have experienced a variety of factors that led to them leaving the profession, from low pay, decreasing benefits, increasing responsibilities, government and community involvement and criticism, to the fallout of the COVID-19 pandemic and overall teacher burnout. The reasons to leave the teaching profession have become overwhelming. In addition, the toll taken on teachers' mental health has contributed to an increase in attrition away from the education profession. In spite of all the reasons to leave teaching, there are many teachers who choose to stay. What factors are powerful enough to overcome the negative and keep teachers in the classroom? If we can identify these factors, teacher retention can be increased, and teachers who would otherwise leave the profession will stay in the career they love. The literature that I gathered on the topic of teacher attrition and retention pointed to three main ideas that are identified as the most common contributing factors to teacher retention. A 2019 study by Ford and others determined that by taking into consideration teachers' interpersonal, intrapersonal, and organizational needs, teacher turnover is preventable. Addressing their psychological needs and the root causes of their burnout makes a meaningful difference in their decisions to stay in the profession. Kaiser and Thompson's study in 2021 discovered that the relationships and support of a principal is a key influence in teacher retention. Giving positive and constructive feedback, communicating expectations and support, listening to their teachers, and allowing professional freedom led to a decrease in teacher stress, burnout, and attrition. Finally, in a 2019 study by Bettini and others, in which they examined the demands upon teachers and the resources available to them, they found that the more demands that were placed upon teachers, the lower their intent to stay. However, when teachers were provided with the resources they needed, support from their administrators and colleagues, and pay and benefits appropriate to their level of education and professionalism, their determination to remain at their school was increased. While there were many research studies focused on teachers leaving the education profession, not as many were available on what causes teachers to stay. While knowing the negative factors and addressing them is an important piece of the puzzle, I felt that a better focus of research would be on the factors that cause a teacher to stay in the profession when others are choosing to leave. Additionally, I want to discover how teachers overcome the challenges that are causing others to leave teaching. If the factors that tip the scales in favor of staying can be increased, and those most in danger of leaving can be supported, then perhaps more teachers will have the tools they need to stay in the profession, and teacher attrition will decrease. My plan for a research study that will address these questions would be a quantitative correlational study. The population that would be the focus of this study are in-service teachers of all ages and experience levels. I would narrow my focus to teachers in kindergarten through 12th grade. I would begin with an online survey that is completed by teachers on a voluntary basis. These surveys would be sent to teachers in a variety of districts with a range of demographics. Once the initial results are received, I would follow up with some voluntary, in-depth interviews of teachers who gave serious consideration to leaving, yet chose to stay. I am interested in seeing if there's a correlation between the teacher's years of experience and their intention to stay in the profession in spite of the challenges faced by teachers in recent years. I would like to investigate whether a correlation may exist between teachers in rural, urban, and suburban districts and their intention to stay in the teaching profession. The procedures for my study will begin with a survey that I design, which will collect data on the demographics of the teachers, including age, gender, ethnicity, grade level taught, and years of experience, as well as the type of district they teach in. Next, I will analyze the data to look for any correlations between intent to remain in education and various factors in their demographic makeup. I do not intend to look for causal relationships, only correlational. One of the questions on the survey will indicate whether the participant would be willing to participate in a more in-depth personal interview. The purpose of this follow-up interview is to gain an understanding of factors that may not have been addressed through the initial survey. To address rigor in the study, I would seek to attain a large sample size from teachers in a variety of states, district types such as urban, suburban, and rural, years of teaching experience, ethnicities, and grade levels. To address the issue of human subjects in this research study, participants will be assured that this is a confidential, anonymous study. No personal data will be collected on the participants. This study would be exempt from IRB review as it involves a survey and the human subjects cannot be identified. There is low risk of any psychological or physical effects from completing the survey. Any identifying information obtained from teachers participating in the voluntary follow-up interview will be disassociated from the data collected, and any identifying information will be removed from the data. Thank you for listening. I hope that you found this topic as interesting and informative as I did.